Cruising down the highway, windows down low, sunset paints the sky in a fire glow. Mountains rise up, touching clouds above, valleys below, filled with whispers of
What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in here. We got Junior's SX500 here up on the bench here. He's been running the 2000 watt kit here, guys, and it's been doing great. This cheaper controller, it's just kind of erratic. When you take off, it's just all at once, and then it kind of smooths out. So it's real kind of herky-jerky, cheaper Chinese controller. We're going to upgrade to the 80 amp Fardriver, just like I have on my bike. I know I could probably size it up a little bit, but I think it's all, I mean, if we start pushing around 80 amps, at 65 amps on my bike, it's pretty daggone impressive, guys. So we got him the same Fardriver to slap on this thing. We're going to see how this goes, guys. I'm still new to the whole electric bike scene. I'm definitely gaining more and more knowledge each and every day. Just trying to hop on the various Facebook pages and doing some reading and watching other people's channels and stuff where they're into these things. And yeah, so what we got for this thing is the Fardriver controller, which will do 48 to 72 volts. We can crank it up to 80 amps. It's gonna make this bike a lot smoother. We already ran it on 48 volts on my setup before I went to 72, and it made a big difference, guys. I think we were doing like 36 mile an hour. Now this motor is a 2000 watt. The only difference is they're exact motor, exact same design, exact same motors. The only difference is this is a 2000 watt. So we're gonna try to figure out retrofitting the Fardriver onto his bike, and I think it's gonna make a big difference, guys. Junior skating a brand new Razor wheel here. I got this down packed when it's not having the tire in my way, and I'm just gonna kind of hold on to this just to make sure it doesn't fly off here, because I'm gonna have some lost weight back here. Seems to be staying there pretty good. So yeah, brand new wheel on here for him. We got a spare wheel. We're gonna look at some enduro. Or not enduro, I'm sorry. We do got motocross back tires. I got a spare one back there, and then I'd like to get a hold of another wheel just to have, like when we're out ripping, if we want to swap them over real quick. The stock Razor tires do better for playing around on the road too. We might look into some RSF wheels eventually too to play around on and be able to slam them on now and then. But as you know, those are hard to find. For some reason the prices drove up on those. So yeah, we got some crickets back there, guys. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, we're going to pop his motor off, and on the long side of changing his controller out. Now his motor has heated up a little bit on him. Mine stayed cooler. I don't think this has a temperature sensor built into it. I'm going to look into that once I get the motor off. But yeah, we're going to try to put this new Fardriver on here for him. It should be a lot better. Tune her up, and then we are going to put a heat sink on for him. This cricket back here is driving me nuts. I do apologize, guys. But we're going to cut this bracket off, pull this motor off here. As you can see, this wire should always be up here. This was the first brushless my 1020 motor I put on here. And once I had it on and had it working, I minus that bolt, and it worked. But yeah, that wire is supposed to be up here. So we're going to fix that, rotate this 180 degrees, cut that bracket completely off, grind it down over here on the grinding bench here. Or put the heat sink on here for him, guys, and get everything put back together as far as that goes. And then later on this evening, the controller should be coming in. If anybody's curious, this is like an off-brand. I bet they all come out of the same factory, but it's like the 2000 watt off-brand. It's not Conray or anything like that. I did peel the sticker off of it, but yeah, it's a 2000 watt. And then the controller, a lot of them are 30 couple amps. This one happens to be a 45 amp. But like I say, these big bulky controllers, if you do get this kit, you're going to want to swap this out sooner than later, and get a Fardriver put on. You're going to greatly appreciate the difference between that and an actual quality tunable controller. I say, Jiminy Cricket over here is really getting on my nerves. Just going to keep these loose here. Again, I only have these 2 bolts on here. We didn't have that, and that wire should be over here. Alright, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but we're going to unhook this hall sensor here. It runs to the motor, and these are your 3 phase wires. And then you're going to have the positive and negative. We're going to jump in here before we get into this junction box back here, and we're going to pop this fuse. Alright, on his bike I don't have a 3-speed or 3-way switch for the 3 speeds. I just rigged him up medium and high speed switch right here. And I think we're going to continue using that setup for now, especially with putting the Fardriver on here. So I just got my multimeter out, just confirmed that there was no voltage here. So we're going to get our junction box tore out of here. And this is why I say it's a good idea. I mean, even if you're in here messing around and you had, you know, a positive and negative that close to each other, it's just kind of stupid on my part. So if you do run this junction box, put your positive here, negative out there, vice versa. And keep your 3 phase wires from the motor in the center. Just slam in a little bit of electrical tape over this positive lead, just in case I do something stupid and get ahead of myself. Alright, let's get these motor phase wires off. So let's start working this motor out of here after we get the hall sensor disconnected. Here's the hall sensor connector, guys. We're going to pop that off there. Give you the cricket is just bothering the shit out of me. There's what this hall sensor wiring looks like. And I may have to repin or reconfigure this the way I understand with this off-brand My 1020 motor. We'll have to look into that, guys. I'm going to drop this motor mount bolt here. And we're probably going to drop some more weight back here. I might want to pay attention to if this bike's going to flip or not. Alright, I got the front tire wedging this in. I should have a strap or something on it so this bike don't go flying off the stand. So we're going to cut this bracket off and smoothing all this down, clean his motor up, and then we'll work on getting his heat sink in and this motor mounted back up correctly. Got chattery, so I think I'm all but through. We'll see what we can do here, guys. As you can see, my son had to throw his motocross sticker on there and give it an extra kilowatt from putting that sticker on there. Nice. All right. Now, at some point, I think we're going to pull this thing off and probably have to grind it down once we put him a motocross tire on there. I have one over there, so we're eventually going to get it on for him. But now, we don't have to worry about that until we throw that on. Alright guys, so I do have a razor style connector kit, and I think we might have to switch this connector out. Don't ask me what the connectors are called. I just found these on Amazon, ordered 2 up. If I think about it, I'll drop a link for you guys. What's nice about the Conway kit that's on mine, the 3000 watt motor, brushless motor, same style motor as this, my 1020 motor, is that Conray did give a nice little manual, which is nice because some of the cheaper stuff you buy out there, the Chinese product, doesn't have like schematics or even a manual or anything. So this even had a schematic here, which is kind of cool. So it looks like we're going to have to reconfigure the pins in this. And I'm going to sit here and try to study this and maybe even just pop these pins out a while and go ahead and try to have the connector set up and ready to go. All right, from looking at my bike and looking at connector here in the wiring diagram, I don't have those style connectors. So it's looking like we might have to just put the female end of this connector on the controller once it comes in. That's what it's looking like we're going to have to do, which will be this. So we'll have that ready to go. That shouldn't be too bad. I'm hoping they're the same style pins. And forgive me guys, I'm new to all this, so we'll have to wait and see. Definitely two different style connectors, from the Fardriver controller towards the cheap square sine wave, I believe, controller on the cheapo 2000 watt controller. All right, it's time to get these plastics out of the way. Controller off. Apologize for the poor lighting. Throttle. And switch. All right, there's the huge controller, cheapo. All right, that's it there. So yeah, this was a 45 amp controller, and it was randomly 48 to 60 volt. Interesting. So I wonder why they just didn't make it 72. But yeah, 45 amps. And pretty simple. Phase wires. You got 3 phase wires that will connect in your junction or go to your motor. And you got the hall sensor. And that's basically it, other than the throttle wire here. And that was a random power lock. And the rest were not used. And I had this rigged up for my speed switch with one of the razor connectors on a medium and high. But we are getting rid of this, and now we're just waiting for our Fardriver controller to come in. I think we can go ahead and mount this motor back up and get the heatsink on there, and I'll have plenty of wire here to fiddle with the connector there for the hall sensor. Alright guys, it's pretty simple the way it looks on this hall sensor wiring here. Phase wires, obviously, yellow, blue, and green. And then it's pretty simple. You just gotta, I guess the white wire added will tell you if you have the heat sensor, from what I'm gathering. This motor does not. You have your power and ground, and then your 3 halls. Your yellow is going to be hall A. Green is going to be hall B. And then blue is going to be hall C. And other than that, it should be just repinning the other one to this connector. We should be good to go as far as the hall sensor goes. I'm not going to be running a temp sensor on this one, obviously, so that's one downfall from this motor. But we'll maybe push this one a little bit to the limits, and it'll give us an excuse to upgrade him to a 3000. Time to get this motor mounted back in. I did throw a little ratchet strap on here so we're not all over the place. A good thing to remember with these My 1020 brushless or brush motors, I do believe, this wire will go towards the foot peg. Come up at an angle and tilt it and roll her in place. What I've been doing now. Oh, I'll tell you what it is. We're going to have to countersink. Alright, so I was like, man, something's really off. Another good thing about the Conray motor, it came pre-countersunk with these bolts here. So what we're going to do is pop these out and countersink that down in and make it flush with the motor. I was wondering why stuff wasn't lining up, and that's why, guys. I will say that's pretty sweet. Conray thinking ahead with putting them bolts already down in there, and it's nice that they also sell the bracketless motor setup too. Like most Chinese hardware that I've ever dealt with, guys, you've got to be extremely careful. Look, I already think I might have stripped this one out, guys. All right, so that's a good start. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get a trick I've done in the past. I don't know that I need to do, so this is gonna mount this way. So honestly, guys, we're gonna let that one be, because I think that is gonna sit above. So we need to just do that one down here. We'll see what happens. I was gonna go ahead and punch a straight line across here and get it out that way, but we're gonna go ahead and just countersink this one, guys. You just don't want to go outside the body, and I think that's gonna work, guys. I got me a 9/32 bit here. Okay, so we want our hall sensor wire, phase wire going on this side. Take this up through. See what this, go this way. The wire up out of the way first so I'm not boogering it up. And I might even pull them back off and put some blue Loctite on there, or even red. I got red right back here. So we might just slam some Loctite on for him, guys. I kind of thought about, you know, really tearing this motor down, looking at it, maybe making the leads coming out a little heavier and drill holes to open up the air in there, and maybe push well over the rated power till this thing starts to give out. For as cheap as it was, guys, for the whole kit. You can always get another motor, but just for, you know, messing around, and it's the only way to learn, right, guys? Anyhow, we got this about bolted down and mounted up. Give you guys a look here. This is what was going on. Even when I was on this opposite side, the wire itself gets in the hole. It gets in the way of that mount. It's no big deal to me. We'll get the heatsink on there, and we'll be waiting to hook up the controller. Heatsink here. Center it up a little bit, best I can. Wait a minute. His sticker's backwards. He's gonna have to just put a different one on if he wants to. We're gonna take that off. He's gonna lose 1 kilowatt of power now, guys. Sorry, buddy. It was upside down now. He'll find another one, I'm sure. All right, we're gonna roll that heat sink on up, and wada bing, wada boom. He's got a heat sink on there now. I think it looks better too with the heat sink. Don't ask me why. All right, he's all bolted up, guys. Got the motor bolted in. We got the old controller removed. We're waiting for our Fardriver to come in. It should be in within the hour. That is the custom box we made for his 48 volt, 16 amp hour blue battery from Amazon. So that's what we did to that one. Just put full tape all over it just to make it look a little bit more appealing. And that's his rectifier there for his light to convert it to 12 volt. That light is very bright. I have one of the lights on mine that just it's a wide variety of voltage. I think something like 12 to 90 volts or something like that. But yeah, so that's nice. You don't have to run the rectifier with the one on my bike, but it's not near as bright as his. All right, guys, we have the Fardriver in, I do believe. And I printed out my tune. KR 72 volt 80 amp. All right, guys, we'll pull this puppy out. Alright, so this is going to be what it's like if you order one separately. So we will keep the razor blade out here, cut some tape here, and see what we got in here, guys. Not too bad on the packaging. Obviously the wire harness and the Bluetooth dongle. We'll keep this. Stuff works for a lot of things. Okay, about the same sheet that I got with the other kit. Kind of like shows you what all the wires are to and what they do. And here is the Fardriver. Same model I have on mine. Bummer they don't give you another book. So that's kind of cool. They give you that wiring, that schematic in that book. But with just the controller itself, guys, I don't believe you're going to get that. So we can go ahead and keep that cover off here, guys, and get ready for the... I guess we're going to figure out how I'm going to mount this thing first. And then we'll get to trying to compare the harnesses and stuff here and get prepped up for wiring this thing. Pretty simple, guys. You have your blue phase, green phase, yellow phase hookup, and then positive and negative. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. So what I'm going to look at first, I'm trying to headbutt the challenges. Here is the style connector. It comes on it. Now, I'm going to jump in here to say it's a pretty easy process here, guys. It's just the white wire we're going to alleviate there, and we're going to match everything color to color after we alleviate this connector and put in the razor style connector. Obviously, I don't have any female of those on hand, or I'd not touch this harness and do the other end on the motor, but I think we're going to pop these pins out of this one. And harness looks all good. Check your pinnage out, guys. Sometimes they don't seat in there properly, and it might give you a headache of wondering why it doesn't work right. Should be a jumper on here somewhere too, guys, for the speed controller. Oh, there it is right there. So cool. All right, guys. Let's confirm which one's the throttle on here. Alright, guys, so I got the schematics out here. So the throttle is red, green, black, green, white, black. So we're hunting him down right here, guys. Red, green, white, black. So I'm looking for my throttle. Looks like we're going to have to repin some stuff here to get this to work properly. Looks like we're going to have to switch the black wire over, the red wire over. So we're going to do that and pray we don't fry something up, guys. These just have a little tab. You can bend them in and pop them right out. These are pretty friendly connectors from my experience so far. I might be better off to get a little straight screwdriver. Wasn't too bad coming out of there. You just got to press it a little bit. Again, I need to get another shop light for right above us here since I extended this bench. I've yet to do that, and I really want to do that, guys, here soon. Last one. And there went the connector. All right, guys, so we got that depinned. We're going to go ahead and put these in the matching way to match up the controller here. So we got a ground wire to contest with first, and the ground should be black, which should be all the way to the left with the connector piece on top. Okay, we're through. Now the green wire is going to be the center of this connector for the throttle for this Fardriver. So we're going to push this in. And that one went in by hand. Okay, that one's in place. Yep. And then the red one, with this little connector piece on the top, the red's going to be all the way out. All right, throttle should be finished up. We corresponded the throttle with repinning that connector. I use my ohm meter just to make sure that this white and yellow wire from this throttle was the switch, and I assumed it was. So we're going to go ahead and plug this up on the connector. So that should go right here. And that'll be color to color, black, green, and red. And this will go to the controller as the 12 volt source power. You'll see that on that orange wire there off that harness. We got our throttle hooked up. And other than figuring out this Hall sensor, I believe that's all we're going to need, guys. All right, guys, call me crazy for doing this. I'm going to leave a little bit of room for tails. If I were to just quick bug this back in when we get another motor. I'm going to put this in my Razor parts box, and I'll be back, and we're going to work on getting this Hall sensor connector on here to correspond with our motor. Here's the kit I got off Amazon. I have 2 of them. So if you're interested, I'll just drop a link in the description for this. If you have this style, my 1020 2000 watt motor, so you can retrofit the Hall sensor. Again, I'll drop a link for that. And then I got these handy dandy crimpers here. We're going to go ahead and start stripping our wire and getting our connections together. Alright guys, we got 5 of those. White wire will be eliminated. We're going to start with the whatever is on the corner. We'll do black wire first. I know you guys can't see it all. Alright, we got the first one on there. A little tedious, but we popped her in there. So what's beside the black wire? It would be nothing, and then you jump over to the red on the opposite opposing side of that. We're going to strip this out, guys, and work on getting this connector on. Alright guys, after about 755 crimps later, I started to figure this thing out. So you're doing right. They lock on pretty good. This tool's pretty decent. I keep squeezing my connector in a little bit towards the end, so there's got to be a way you don't do that. Then you go to the next size up, and bada boom. And then I have to take my screwdriver in here because I keep squeezing the bottom every time, so maybe just got to pull it off of the connector just a little bit, guys. Final green wire crimped on there, guys. Just got to pay really close attention. I got that one on perfectly and didn't mangle up the connector. So the green is in between the yellow and the blue. And we're going to pop this in, and this should be done for the Hall sensor wiring. So this takes care of the low voltage side of this motor. And I'm going to again double check my connectors. Yellow on the bottom of the red, red up top. We got blue below the black, and green in between on the bottom row. That should be it, guys. And what I'm going to do is tape, like I said, on this connector with pushing these in. That way I know this is my temp sensor wire. I'm going to tape all that together real quick. Alright guys, so now we have the Bluetooth dongle red connector. It's the only connector that you can find on there for this to mate to. So pretty self-explanatory. It's a black and red, brown, green, brown, blue stripe, and black wire. I'm going to plug that up. Okay guys, I think we're getting really close now. Don't forget your signal wire for your switch. We're going to hook the phases up to the motor, green, yellow, and blue. And hook our battery power up and fuse in. I think we're ready to try this thing out. Alright guys, so positive, negative, 3-phase wires. We did up our hall sensor connector. We got our throttle, key switch. Don't forget that wire there off of this orange wire, random single orange wire. Pretty obvious. It's already got the connector waiting for you to put it on there. Don't forget that or it won't switch on. Fingers crossed, guys, that we're going to fire this thing up after I put my fuse in here and get some power. We're going to pop in our 40 amp fuse. We will not be pushing no more than 40 amps. Woo! I forgot about that. Holy crap, it gets me every time. Jesus, Pete's. I swear. So you can get a resistor of some sorts to stop that. I have them somewhere when I was doing radio stuff, and yeah, I don't know where they're at. Guys, we're ready to power this thing up as far as it looks here. I don't think I'm missing anything. Key switch, throttle, controller, phase wires, positive, negative, hall sensor hookup. Oh, yep, right here, guys. So we got to hook this up here real quick. See, you got slow down and think. All right, guys, we got the connector on now. We'll leave the boot up just in case there's loose pins back behind here. The reason I'm leaving this all set out like this, some of these wires are going to be a little tight packing this back in here, is just to keep it open to troubleshoot in case I have to. But I think we're ready to power this up, guys. Fingers crossed. I am so nervous right now. Oh, it's already powered up. Okay. Okay. For some reason, we have battery display at all times on that switch. Why is that, guys? Alright, well, I got battery display at all times. Trying to figure this out. So, this power should be going in on one and coming out on the other. So I'm trying to figure this out. Alright, so if I unplug this, it shuts it down. Alright, let me ponder on this, guys. Alright, guys, you might want to know what happened here. So, on the switch wires, here's our throttle. And on the switch, so just so you can see, this throttle was red, green, and black. So I had the yellow to the red wire. I had to switch them 180. So the white goes to the red wire and then the yellow to the orange. And now it flips on. And we're good to go. Sweet, guys. I'm going to work on putting the tune on this thing. I'll show you some of this stuff. I'm not going to give out Ryan Goodyear's tune, just out of respect. Look him up on Facebook. He'll hook you up for sure, guys. If you want to really get this bike or these bikes tuned, look him up. He's very intelligent, does good work with this stuff, and I was impressed by what I had going to what he gave me. And I was looking for a tune that's good for the trails, good low end, good wheelie machine, and it's still, my machine stops. It's running 72 volts, same controller, 3,000 watt motor, tops out at 48 mile an hour. It's pretty impressive. Alright, guys, again, out of respect, you can auto tune this and get it close and get it runnable, get it drivable. Out of respect for me getting this tune, I'm not gonna give away the tune. Again, search for Ryan Goodyear on Facebook. He will hook you up for sure. There's a lot of intricate little settings in here, as you can see when you get into the app. He'll hook you up. Look him up. Trust me. It makes a world of difference. But here we got it keyed on, guys. We'll do a power cycle for you guys. Key it on. I don't run the motor too hard when it's not hooked up under a load, but that throttle is just so controllable now. That's awesome, guys. So we'll see how this thing runs for him. I'm sure my little buddy's going to be excited. I know when I went from having a 48 volt battery on here on my bike before I got the 72, I went from doing like 30-ish to like 36 mile an hour, and it just, the torque and everything was just way better, especially when I got the Ryan Goodyear tune. So again, look him up. He does awesome work, guys. But anyhow, I'm going to start putting this thing back together. We're going to more authenticate how we mount this controller up, and then we're going to start wrapping this bike up. All right, ladies and gents, I think we're going to have one pleased boy. That scared me. Oh no, is this a code? No, we did all that work. What happened? I really buttoned the wires up. I'm sure I moved something. Jeez, man, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, it stopped. As soon as I touch one of those wires. I bet it's this hall sensor wire, if I were to guess. Yep. So, dude, I think he's gonna like this, guys. I really do. I hit the throttle from this side. Wow. Jeez, guys. Yeah, so he's gonna like this compared to the old controller he had. So this old thing here, I mean, when you buy these kits, it'll get you started. But if I were you, I would probably just maybe do what we did in this video. Buy your either 2000 or 3000 watt My 1020. Get you a heat sink and just go that route. If I were to do it again, that's what I would have done. But since I've gained more knowledge, that's what this channel is all about. It's helping you guys out. So if you see these kits with the 2 and 3000 watt kit, just go ahead and get yourself the Fardriver, get the combo kit from Conray, or just piece it together. Honestly, guys, if I were to do it again, I would have just went ahead and did that and not waste my money on this kit. But this gained me a little knowledge on this this kind of stuff, so I'm not complaining. I'm really thinking about like maybe getting him a splash guard of some sorts right here, so the mud doesn't cake this. We really don't have too many other locations we can set this controller. So, and I also thought about even just caulking this up, all these ports up with caulk, and you know, just to weatherproof it all a little bit, you know, on those holes, and that could just be cut right out with the razor blade if you get back in there again. But we're gonna have to get this thing back together and get some test runs. I'm curious to see what we gained. This bike did top out at about 28 to 30 with him, and I could push about 30, being a little bit heavier on the straight stretch back here. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, we got her down. She had a loose connection there. One of the pins needed pressed in on the hall sensors on the low voltage side there. We fixed that. Got everything tidied up pretty good. We got him a speed switch. We just got medium and high, just a two-way switch. So that works pretty good. We can put it on low if like the girls want to ride it. So my wife can jump on it, and my oldest daughter can jump on it now. They didn't like it much before, especially when my wife got on it and tried to go up the driveway. That, you know, almost dumps her off because it's just such a cheap, I think it's like a square wave controller. It's just so much more you can do with the Fardrivers, guys. And we got the Ryan Goodyear tune going on this sucker, and it's feeling awesome in the basement. We're going to get it out as soon as this rain stops, guys, and take a couple rips. All right, guys, we are checking our view out here. Let's see how this thing operates. Start our trip. Yeah, guys, so man, we've been having rain like forever. As you can see, the roads are still really wet. Oh man, this is so much nicer. So just on the throttle, engagement and everything. It's just so smooth now. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and get it. I gotta make sure this is warmed up. Let me check the pipe. Oh, now we're gonna do a top speed here real quick. Get that over with, guys. Oh, 30. 34 right there. So we did 34 mile an hour. The van cut us off there. I think we could probably push a little more out of it. We had some downhill persuasion there, guys. But honestly, man, this thing is so much better. The Fardrivers are definitely where it's at. If you're a guy like me, it's a world of difference from 48 to 72 volts. I'll tell you that right off the back. So if you can just wait, save a little bit more money, or just all out, just get the 72 volt, I would do that. It's a world of difference in power, guys. So we're gonna try this speed run again here, guys. Yeah, when I had the same setup in when we were down in North Carolina, it's flat forever down there. It's pretty nice. I was doing like 36 mile an hour. Now I think I had 11 tooth front sprocket. He does have a 13 on here, so I'm just wondering if I had enough straightaway, if I could get this thing over 36. But obviously we only have so far here. But we'll hit it again, guys. So much smoother on the throttle, man. It's way better. My little buddy likes to practice wheelies. It's not really a wheelie machine. You have to really preload. There's 30. 36, 37, 37 mile an hour, and I guarantee if I had a good bit of road, it may even do 38. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, not bad, guys. We're gonna try another rip for y'all on the flat straightaway back here. Okay, he might like the 11 tooth better. I think this will be good for him though. Flat out think this thing would do 38. Just don't think we have enough area here, guys. So right here on the last controller, you were lucky to do 28, and we're already beating that. All right, guys, so I think I hit about 33 mile an hour there on the flats. That's much better than what it was, and the whole acceleration and everything on this Fardriver and this tune setup, it's just so much better, guys. So much better. We're pushing 39 line amps on this thing, so it's a 30 amp BMS on this. Going a little over. So yeah, it's 30 couple mile an hour easy, guys. Keep it coming back here. There's one. So yeah, not too bad at all, guys. Yeah, so this thing's pretty cool. I think my son's gonna like this a good bit. It's funny that I'm already kind of hunting him a 72 volt battery, and then this would be pawned down for a machine for the girls. So we'll see. I'm in no hurry, but this thing does pretty good for what it is, guys. For 48 volt, we have a lot of killer hills around here, and it's right up them now, no hesitation. He can do 15-20 mile an hour right up these really large hills up here. So all right, guys, so we already have a pretty long video here, so we're gonna wrap it up. I just wanted to get this thing out on the road. We're going up this mild hill, easy 25. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. The cheap China controller versus the Fardriver, guys. Without a doubt, go with the Fardriver. Spend a little bit more money and it'll be well worth it, guys. I forgot to put a top speed clip in here for you guys, so we can see exactly what we did hit out there. And we hit 36.9 miles an hour. When I was out there, I did see the speedometer say 37. Hey guys, thanks for watching Digging Deep. Until next time.